There's two new updates for ChatGPT that are actually awesome for authors, and let's talk about it. The first update is that ChatGPT is going to be loosening their restrictions, their content restrictions, probably in December. Now, ignore the headline for now because we definitely have concerns about some of this, but for authors, I think it is awesome. Why? Because I don't know if you remember trying to in the early days of ChatGPT and actually still today, trying to create either romance scenes or violent scenes like action scenes in novels. Then you would get constant restricted just constantly, and it's so annoying.
Yes, ChatGPT is finally learning that grown-ups exist, and sometimes we just want to write a chapter where the main characters do get handsy, or the zombie apocalypse is actually, gross. For those of us writing romance novels, horror, or realistic action, the last few years have been an absolute semantic nightmare. We've been forced to use replacement language and sneaky tricks, for example, writing intense gazing when we mean steamy, or using words like red sauce explosion when we mean other things. I'm optimistic that this update, which we hear is rolling out this December, please God, please, means we can finally type the scene we want to type the way we want to write it for the story. In other words, the shackles are off, supposedly.
And I love that for authors. It's actually so nice. But yes, we do have
Genuine concerns, and so do parents like Mark Cuban, apparently. Number one, age verification. How rigorous is this going to be? Because I have a feeling the 16-year-olds of the world are currently working on a 5-step plan to borrow an older cousin's ID and get that verification immediately. Loopholes exist, and when the content is this sensitive, those loopholes can be terrifying. And let's talk about privacy. We've all seen the news about private chats accidentally going public. This has already happened. Now, imagine that happening with chats that are, shall we say, significantly looser in their content. I'm sure my grandma would be absolutely thrilled if the search history for my zombie cannibal romance novel ended up on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. The stakes for private chat leaks just got exponentially higher, and that needs to be taken seriously.
Now, the second update is also cool, and that's this one. OpenAI is partnering with Walmart to be able to buy and sell things within the ChatGPT platform. You're going to be able to find an item that you want to buy and I think purchase it within ChatGPT. That's my understanding. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Now, it's not just Walmart. Walmart might be the first of many stores, many organizations that integrate with ChatGPT so that you can buy things. Now, why is that good for authors? Well, if you have an author website, if you're selling your books, which you probably are if you're an author, if you're selling your merch, this can all be good stuff because your fans, your followers can actually go to ChatGPT, look for something that's related to you, your book, or your merch, and just get it right there, find it more easily, purchase it more easily. This can bring more visibility to your novel. So people within Chatty can look for very specific types of books. Using my books as an example, if somebody said, I really want a book about past lives and reincarnation that happens in a setting around Southern Indiana and Kentucky, that's where my books are set. I have those elements in my past lives series. If somebody said, I want a book that includes hypnosis, I want all fiction novels that include hypnosis. Well, there's a ton of them, but my book might come up in that as well. People are looking for local authors. If people are looking for specific settings, specific kinds of characters, specific themes within a novel, your novel might come up in a curated list of other books.
We don't know exactly how the algorithms will favor us yet, but the idea that people looking for incredibly specific themes can stumble upon our work, click a button, and immediately buy a book, that is the kind of optimistic outcome that almost makes me forget about the dangers of the age-gating loopholes. Almost.
I'll include links to some of the articles I read for this video in the description. But that's just my take. What do you guys think about these two updates for authors? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.